Welcome to one more brand new episode of the School of Men. And this episode is going to be historical because this is a men's show, and for the first time on this show, we have a woman. And shortly, you'll know why this woman is with us today. And this woman happens to be a friend of mine. I'm very happy about that. Um, I have my friend Veena B K here, and I would let Veena to introduce herself. Veena, welcome to the show, and please
Thank you.
introduce yourself, what you do, and who you are, a little bit about your background.
Surely, surely. First of all, thank you, Adarsh. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be talking to you, your tribe of men who are into fitness, who are into personal development. So, and it's my privilege that I'm the first lady to be here with a group of strong men. And yeah, I'm Veena B K. I'm from Bangalore, and I've been an ex-banker. After I quit my job, I didn't know what I would do in my life. But when I started to think about my past, it has been a long journey as a mother, as an employee. My life was full of stress, tension, teenage parenting, all the struggles, whatever a mom faces. I faced all of that. So when I wanted to do something in my life, in my second innings, so to say, after quitting my job, so this is one cause I connected to. So I started coaching. Initially, I started parenting for both moms and dads. Then I found I connect better to moms. So parenting is a joint responsibility. Moms are the primary caregivers in our society. So through mom, I can help her to guide her entire family. It is not just about the children. So now I do a lot of emotional healing for the mothers because of their problems. The peace of the house is affected. If she can balance herself and her family, it leads to a happy family. So with this vision, I'm a guide, I'm a mom's empowerment mentor. So this is about me, Adarsh.
Awesome, Veena, awesome. So, by now, our listeners might have got an idea why you are here. I would like to elaborate on that, Veena. Um as I was thinking about having you on the show and why I was having you on the show, this thought came to me, or maybe I learned it from somewhere else, but it is here in my mind that one of the most important relationship in any man's life is with his spouse, at least in the adulthood, because most of the adulthood we spend with this one person,
So,
which is our spouses, right? Parents are there, but they are not there for that long, and most of the adulthood is spent with the spouse. And I feel it is one of the most important relationships which can make or break a man or a woman. And that is why I have invited you here. And with this interview, or with this conversation, I want to start this conversation about the most important relationship between a man and a woman, which is of being a spouse. And that is why I've invited you. And I'm pretty sure you'll add a lot of value because you have seen the other side of things. And this is something,
definitely,
and this is something,
definitely.
this is
This
something
is
which
like,
is,
both worlds coming together. Both
yeah,
worlds
and this
coming
is
together.
something
Yes.
which is joked around a lot, that it's very difficult to learn what a woman wants. There is also a book. There is also a book. I don't
Yeah.
know if you know about this, Veena. There is also a book. I forgot the title of the book. But
Is
then
it men are
everything you
from
need to know.
Mars? Men are from Mars, women are
No,
from
no, no, no,
Venus?
not that,
Uh,
Veena. There is a book
okay.
which says
Uh.
everything you need to know about women, everything you need, I know about women, something like that. And
Okay.
the whole book is blank.
Okay,
Yeah,
I get you. I get you. I
yeah.
understand
So
what you mean.
jokes apart, it is still very important, and it is, I think, imperative
Yeah,
that men start to understand at least their
yeah.
wives and spouses,
I think the
and vice
struggle is
versa.
because of this. Like you mentioned, if the man is blank about the lady of the house, how will he understand her? So these kind of interactions will bridge that gap,
Mm.
I feel.
Yes, Veena. So let me start by asking you, what made you quit your job? Let's talk about what you do first, so that there
Hmm.
is a little bit of context,
Yeah.
and then we can take it from there.
So definitely, I served for 22 years in State Bank of India. I was a manager at that time. Now, when I look back, there has been lot of struggles in the bank. It's a very huge balancing role. I felt guilty as a mother. I felt I didn't do justice to my
Mm.
son. I didn't give
Mm.
him time. So all those struggles were there, daily struggles, tension, stress, and lot of frustration in the job was there. At one time, I felt I'm working just for paying EMIs. Every working woman always thinks of her family. She wants to contribute. She wants to support her husband. That is what I also did. But when the struggles were over, like it was like I no longer need this money. I need not be binded by the need for money. So maybe that was one major reason. Now that I have sacrificed a lot, I have sacrificed my family life, personal life for the bank. So now I really want to be with my family. As you all know, bank job is a transferable one. There has been 4 years when three people in my home were living in three different places. My son was in a residential school. I was at a home in Mysore. My husband was in Tamil Nadu. So my biggest dream at that time was, when will my family be together? So for a woman, it matters a lot that she stays with her family. She needs them and she'll also contribute to their emotional needs. It is give and take. So that is what made me, when finally money was not an issue for me, I decided this is not what I want. I want to be with my family. But never ever I thought I'll do anything. It was so called retired life. But then how long will I be lazy, and I couldn't just be with myself? Then I thought, when I thought what I wanted to do, this was what the realization came. Okay, I've got everything from the bank, the dignity, the status, the money, everything I got. Of course, there also is to serve the people, I have to serve the public. But the work I'm doing is totally different kind of satisfaction now. So it goes beyond money, others. I have been in the money world, like being a banker. But now I realize the true happiness. That is what I have got here as a coach. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, yes, Veena. You answered it, and you said women feels the need to be with family, and I'll tell you,
Exactly.
Veena, from my point of view, family
Mm.
is not a family without the women of the family, right?
Wow. True, true.
Yeah, and yeah, as I have seen, even my wife go through.
Mm,
She is not a working woman. It was a conscious decision from my side to
mm,
marry a woman who can be a housewife and
mm, mm.
take care of the family,
She works
especially the
at home,
kids.
right?
Yeah, that's what is
Yeah,
my point.
yeah.
Because see, in our generation at least,
Uh,
I started working in Bangalore, which is a
mm,
metro city, and it is very expensive nowadays.
mm,
And to run a family with one income is very difficult, right?
right.
And
Mm,
at that time, a lot of people, even now, a lot of people, they look for someone who is also working, right?
mm,
And it
mm,
adds a lot of complexity to the
mm,
equation when a
mm,
woman is working.
mm,
And for me, even though my work, my wife is working from home, and I'm into building my business. I have, being going from a job holding person to an entrepreneur. It's a tough transition for me,
mm.
and I'm not present at home most of the times, and all of the things,
Right,
she has to go through,
right.
taking care of the children and
Mm,
everything at home.
everything. Mm,
But yeah, I mean, I can imagine how it could be if she was working. It would have been much more
mm,
difficult, right?
mm,
Of
mm,
course, the money problem is relatively, smaller problem when there are two incomes,
mm,
but then it comes with other problems, right?
mm, mm,
Yeah. So, Veena, coming to the matter of today's discussion, um, women, you have been coaching women, and I
yes.
want to know, or let's say, I want my listeners to know what kind of issues women are going through, and especially you're
Mm,
dealing with moms and married
yeah.
women.
Mm,
So I think husbands play a very, very pivotal role in women's life.
mm,
And why not let me know and the listeners know what women you are dealing with,
mm, mm.
you're talking to or dealing with.
Yeah, yeah. So very good question, Adarsh, when you were telling about your life and how you managed it while you were a person in a job. Now you're in business. So if you can visualize any person, any male or female, if you can visualize, we are like two wheels of a cart. So now you
Yes,
are
true.
totally into business. Your wife manages the home front. If she was a working woman, maybe you would have taken some responsibility like dropping the kids to their school or getting groceries. So it is all mutual adjustment. There's no ideal equation for that. So we are
Hmm.
all like two wheels of the cart. So both have to pull together. The cart you can visualize like a family. You can think like a family. So that is the ideal equation. But
Yeah.
when one wheel wants to go one way, other wheel wants to go other way, that is where the problem comes up. So, like
Hmm.
at the beginning of this call, you mentioned this relationship is very important, husband and wife. In our Indian context, it is not just marriage, is not just for namesake. It is like Jivan Sathi, the
Yeah.
partner. It's like a soulmate. We choose our partners like a soulmate, whether it's from the men's angle or the women's angle. It is for life, and we tend to adjust to each other's demands or the qualities, whatever it is. We want to make it work. So yesterday, Friday, March 15th, happened to be my 34th marriage anniversary, wedding anniversary. Okay. So I think I can speak about marriage now that I've completed 34 years. Yesterday, I put it on my WhatsApp status. Marriage is not happily ever after. It is work. So you need to allow the other person's space as well as grow yourself. So this I've seen in women, they invest a lot in their families. Then after a few years, they feel cheated. They come to me sharing their pains. I give everything for my family. My family doesn't understand. Then I say, why are you looking there for your self growth? Why don't you develop your own hobbies, interests? Husband doesn't have time for me. This is a complaint. It's a
Hmm.
literal complaint I receive. I want to just talk to my husband, but he doesn't have time. Then just to support the men, I also support the men. So let me share. This happens inside our call. Openly, I may say, I may advise men, give time to your wife, communicate with her. But generally, I advise my moms. He's also in midlife, busy with his career. So develop your own hobbies, interests, take care of yourself, become independent. You all must have seen that movie, English English by Sri Devi. There in the end, she gives a one short speech. There she says, you have to trust each other. And in this relationship, if one person is feeling low, the other person has to rise up. The other person has to contribute more to the relationship. So this is the concept I believe in. It is not like the typical feminist, that kind of advice I don't give, at least. I don't know about others. But just before your call, I was thinking, even when women accuse or complain, it is out of love for their husband. See, divorce, separation, not talking to each other for months together. In a moment, you can take a decision, Adarsh. It's very easy way out. It's very easy way out to just stop talking to that person, lose the connection, emotionally cut off, either from the man side or the woman side. But we want to make this work. We want the relationship to enhance. So for that, we both need to contribute, whether man or woman. So this is my advice in general. Like really, both of you should contribute to make it work. And some women say it's for the children's sake. So don't do it like that. Think like my vision is for the mom to create happy family. It is not sacrifice. Okay, I'll sacrifice everything. I'll compromise everything just to have a happy understanding. Develop the genuine bonding, give that love and affection. In fact, I tell my moms, you give whatever you have, but if you yourself don't love yourself, you can't love others. So take that break, take rest, pamper yourself, feel good from inside, so that you can be a smiling mom. When your family see you like that, they will respond 10 times in the same tone, same emotion. Do you agree, Adarsh?
I can say I agree. Is there any other option?
That is my happy vision for the family. When I'm promising you happiness, why will you not agree?
Yeah.
If your wife can be smiling, even if you sometimes lose your temper, if she can be cool, imagine that power if she has in her hands, your family will definitely be happy.
Yeah. See, Veena, I'm also, first of all, very, very happy anniversary to you for completing 34
Thank you.
years of
Thank you.
togetherness. And
Yeah,
I also have, I also come with some experience.
yeah.
I have been married for 11 years now, and that is why I said I have to agree to you. Is there any option? Okay. So, Veena, that was, a very long answer, and there is a lot of things I could, we
Hmm,
need to dissect here.
huh.
Okay. So, one thing you said, women end up feeling cheated. and they
Hmm.
start complaining that okay, I'm giving so much to my family and
Hmm.
all, and I'm not
Hmm.
getting anything in return.
Hmm.
What do you feel, you know, what do you feel makes this situation to arise? Why women
Hmm.
start feeling like this?
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, I can relate it to my own example. I got married, I was not a graduate, not
Mm,
even a graduate. Then I completed, like, I took my exams, then I went to my husband's place. He was staying near Bijapur. My native is Bangalore, like I said. Then what to do at home? I had my dreams and aspirations, but it was a small town. So then for some days I thought, what should I do with my life? And my husband suggested, okay, study post graduation, external course again. Sitting at home, I studied. Then I gave birth to my son. When my son was 2 years old, I decided this is not the life I want. I want to do something more. Okay, then he encouraged, I got into a job. But just imagine what if I had sacrificed all of this? I didn't further my education. I thought this is my life. I gave my entire time and effort to my family, to my kids. A lot of moms do it, it's not wrong. At the same time, she has her passions, aspirations, hobbies, interests. As a girl, she would have dreamed, na? Which girl doesn't dream that my life should be like this? I should do something on my own, her own identity. So somewhere she loses track, especially when a small kid is born. It is so hectic for the mother. She has to give all her time. She has to. By the way, she doesn't have an option. Okay. So she gives her time, then there may be aged in-laws. So a lot of responsibility on the lady of the house. She starts to prioritize herself less, owing to the demands of the family. And then later, even when kids grow up, she doesn't realize now is the time I should take time for myself. I should do something for myself. So this habit or routine has set in. And she starts to feel my kids need me. And she does more and more for them. Maybe she doesn't make them independent. This is what I guide moms with. Don't do so much for your children. Make them independent. Teach them the things. Let them help you at home. Why do you do all the things? Somewhere this realization doesn't come. She says, even yesterday I was talking to a mom in a one-to-one call. She said, I do a lot of cleaning even if I'm not well. I asked her, why do you do that? Please take rest, take a break. She said, I feel useless because it's the only thing I'm doing. My husband is earning money. Do you see the feelings of the woman? How bad she feels about it, that she is not worthy because she is not earning money. She cooks, she cleans, she takes care of the kids, she tutors them, she drops them to school, she attends parents meetings, she does umpty number of things. Even if there are servants, you need to supervise them, you need to tell them what to do. But she doesn't consider this as something of value. She feels I'm sitting at home doing nothing. See the mentality of the woman. So this is what comes up when she reaches middle age. Children have grown up. Children are in their teens. Husband is in midlife crisis and all that he has to achieve, prove something in his job or career. Then she is feeling unworthy. One small sentence triggers both of them. So that is what happens. She has lost her identity already. She pins her entire hope on her husband, her kids, her family, but they start to push her away. Don't interfere. Don't intrude. You're always irritating. Maybe she tells the kids, don't be with gadget study. So that seems like a intrusion or a remark to the kids. They don't tolerate. Husband doesn't have time even to share about the parenting problems. Then she feels cheated. Oh, all these years I thought family is my, biggest asset and I gave all my time, energy. And where is that girl lost who was having her, college day dreams? She wanted to achieve something, make a mark in this world. Every girl has a dream. तो शादी के बाद कहीं खो जाती है. She loses herself. At this stage, she comes to me. She starts to take time out for herself. She starts to value herself more, respect her. When she develops that, suddenly kids start to see her with new eyes. Husband starts to see the happy, bubbly, cheerful person instead of the sulking person. So that is how the whole equation changes, Adarsh.
yeah. So, what is the solution, Veena? I'll see, as you were talking about this, two line of thoughts started developing in my mind. Okay, one
Hmm,
line of thought is,
hmm,
can a woman be happy if all
hmm,
the family members acknowledge that she is doing the work of value?
Hmm.
So that is how I
Definitely.
approach it. I keep telling my wife that whatever you're doing is very important. That is
Hmm.
why I consciously made this decision that I want to marry a working woman.
Hmm.
Sorry, a woman who is a housewife.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
I don't know from where this influence came to my mind. Maybe
Hmm.
I saw a few couples, I came across few couples who were struggling because
Hmm.
of their job. Maybe I saw some
Hmm.
of my friends who, um, for whom, both mother and father were working and they were struggling. The children were struggling.
Right.
Maybe I don't know.
No, it's good if it's a
Desperate.
conscious decision and you have clearly conveyed your decision or opinion to your
Yeah.
would-be wife, and she has also agreed, or both
Mm,
of you have decided at the outset, I'll work after kids. One person has to be there to take
mm,
care of the family. That's completely
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But do you think that the problem arises when the role woman is playing is not acknowledged by the family members, or
Hmm.
the way woman is treated when it comes to
Hmm.
money? Like, of
Hmm.
course, man is earning the money, but
Hmm.
woman has equal right on his money. This is what
Hmm.
I feel, and
Hmm.
there has to be
Hmm.
someone who controls the money. Of course, whoever is earning
Hmm.
will
Hmm.
control the money,
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
if the person is
Hmm.
um, what I would say, open about it, and let's say
Hmm.
uh, not stingy about money, and
Right.
whenever woman is asking for money, uh,
Hmm.
the husband gives it respectfully without saying
Hmm.
anything or without commenting.
Respectfully. Respectfully is the keyword. I think you gave your own answer. Anyway, yeah, continue, please.
So, if all these things are there, can a woman be happy? Or does she have to pursue a career or do something outside of the home? What do you feel?
Okay, what's the second thought? You said two thoughts I got.
Second thought is like she has to reconsider if she wants to be a housewife and keep doing
Hmm.
the only this throughout her life,
Okay.
and get out of home and do something else.
Hmm. Hmm.
And should the
Got
man
it.
start thinking on that lines
That
and
lines.
support her in that way? These are
Okay.
two options a woman can have,
Two options. Okay.
both
When she
women and
feels
man.
kids have grown up, what should I do with my life? That's the question, right? For a woman.
Yeah, even if the kids are not grown up, she can
Uh-huh.
still start doing it because lot
Yeah.
of couples are doing it. Both
Yeah.
couples are working, and
Yes.
if the man is ready to share the responsibility
Okay.
about the family, and
Uh,
these are two lines
okay.
of thought, or these are two options a woman can have,
Right.
or
Right.
let's say a family can have, woman and husband.
Family. It's a family decision. It's a family
Yeah.
decision.
Yes.
Very good question and good thoughts, Adarsh. So I really love the word you said, respectfully. She may be working at home. Do you realize, as you spoke the conversation, it is not even about money. What money she has, what money
Yeah.
he has, who
Yeah.
has control. I know of many homemakers who have the control of the money. Husband is earning, but control is with the wife. Okay, whether both are earning, whether one is earning. So that is immaterial. Ultimately, like you said, it is about respect. Just
Mm.
because she does not earn, you are not doing anything. What do? You do
Yeah.
nothing. These are
Yeah.
very, very hurtful words. Even if you can't acknowledge, appreciate, it's okay. Sometimes everyone is not vocal, and it seems a little artificial every time saying, food is good or you're doing a great job. It may seem artificial in some relationships. That is okay, but acknowledgement is not just in words. It is not taunting or pointing out that you're earning. So some wives tell me, because I'm not earning, my husband doesn't respect me. Or some wives say, because I'm earning, I'm not good at house chores as good as my other relatives. That is also pointed out. So others, do you realize somewhere it is not just between husband and wife, two individuals respecting each other. And especially women and also men may feel very bad about fighting in front of their kids. What kind of an example they are creating. I think both partners should have a policy that we will have disagreement. There's nothing wrong in having a different opinion, but let us discuss in private. Let it not be an argument. Let it be a discussion. And all women want is men to listen, which men listen while watching TV, while doing something else. Okay, okay, that sort of a listening, which women don't appreciate. In fact, I am guiding women. You become a good listener so that you also can get the listening from the other side. So, lot of things both the partners have to understand. So, you spoke about working outside, whether it should be a decision. Again, each family is different. I have moms coming to me, I'm not happy with this job, I want to quit, should I quit? Even I took a decision similarly. When I quit, many of my bank colleagues asked me, should I quit? Then I said, if your children are small, you want to quit and take care of them, yes, that's a good decision. But what will you do about the EMIs? What will you do about the commitments? Just because someone quit, you can't quit. See your family situation. Discuss with your husband or wife, vice versa. So it should be a joint decision. And about what you said, one mom, she's a homemaker. Because of my coaching, something happened, something clicked in her. She went to her husband and asked, I want 1 lakh rupees. Will you give it to me? Just like that, she asked. He said, for what? See, don't ask me for what. I want 1 lakh. Will you give it to me? I said, okay, take it if you really want. Then she said, okay, I don't want your money. I just wanted to test you. Because I'm a homemaker, am I not worthy of asking 1 lakh? That reassurance. So ultimately, all the men and women listening, it is about respect. It is about saying you matter. We follow that in our tribe, in my community. I matter. Okay, she has to realize I matter. And the man also has to realize she matters in the family. That's all they're asking. You may not vocally acknowledge, appreciate all the time. Like, for example, on Valentine's Day, one husband gave a card to his wife, which never happened. She received it and she said, oh, what if this is just an act? What if this is just a gesture for gesture's sake? Just to actually be that, right? It is not about wishing. It is not about, saying those words. It is about showing it in your attitude when you talk to her. And in this context, Adarsh, I would like to add, though answer is getting a little long. From the women's side, let me share the men's perspective also because I know it to a certain extent. Men feel, oh, now kids are there. She gives all the time for the kids. She is neglecting me. She is ignoring me. She is not even talking nicely to me. She always quarrels. If I go home, quarrel starts. Because I've done a few sessions for dads, one-to-one, and also group sessions. I know this. So what about the other side? What if problem is there from the wife side? She is always, irritating and triggering me. She triggers me. That is why I get angry. I've heard from the dads, including my husband has told me many times, you made me angry. So I'm also learning a lot, to make the things amicable as far as possible. So it is one's ego against other's ego. So we both need to understand somewhere we have to meet a midpoint or agree to disagree. Why make a big deal? Like there are many different aspects between me and my husband where I don't agree to his way of doing things or his way of thinking, and he doesn't agree to my way. But way back, I think we unknowingly we decided, okay, this is your area, this is my area. We won't, interfere in each other's area. Agree to disagree is a policy. So all the couples listening, you can adapt this policy. See, each person is unique. You cannot conform to your wife's ideas as men, and wife also may be having her own ideas. Instead of bickering, fighting, arguing for years together, same topic, everyday fight. What's the use? At least you do your way, I'll do my way. That can be a possibility, right?
Yeah, Veena. So I would like to add my perspective here
Yeah.
because it has worked for me. It might work for other men also.
Yes.
And uh, maybe advice for women if some woman is listening to this.
Sure.
So one thing is what I realized is how women think is totally different from how men think, or how they approach problems is completely different. Men
Yes.
completely approach it logically and analytically. Okay.
Correct.
Women completely approach it with emotions.
Correct.
And that causes a lot of issues. Like it has happened with me whenever we have some arguments, and we had lot of arguments when we were newly married.
Hmm.
This was 8 years back, and we used to have a lot of fights and quarrels and stuff like that. I failed to realize at that time that women think differently and men think differently. That is one thing. And another thing is a lot of times women is emotion has piled up and it is it will burst out sometime. Women is
Hmm.
in that mode,
Hmm.
and man is in not a mode to get into that kind of confrontation. At
Correct.
least for me, I am a person who will avoid confrontation and conflict.
mm, mm,
I want to settle things amicably and settle things without, uh,
mm,
without getting too much emotional, or you
mm.
know getting charged too much about issues, because that clouds my judgment, and I tend to lose myself and shout and things like that. I cannot control my anger.
And it
Okay.
becomes bigger.
Yeah,
Mm,
and it
mm,
becomes bigger, and what I
mm,
found is, a lot of times when I feel my wife is reacting to something, she's angry or she's emotional,
mm, mm,
I will stay quiet. This is this is a issue of ego. Like, a lot of women tend to
mm,
throw some tantrum, and
mm,
she might also, like,
mm.
um, she might insult you sometimes.
Mm,
She
mm.
may call
I
you
know.
names, and
Mm,
it happens a lot when there is no proper understanding and there is no respect for each
mm,
other. It happens a lot, and women
mm.
tend to bring family members in between.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. Okay.
Triggering points.
Yeah. And earlier I used to get triggered if my
Mm,
wife says something about my relatives, my side of the family,
mm,
and it is always it's a loaded kind of statement always, right?
mm, mm,
And I tended to get into fight at that time or respond because my
mm,
ego is hurt. And later on, I gradually learned to cope with this, or learn to uh,
mm,
manage this better. Like, everybody, it may be between my mother and my wife.
mm,
Okay.
mm,
It may be my between my father and my wife, and everybody has certain expectation from you, and uh, the dynamics is very complicated. The relationship dynamics, the
mm,
relationship between you and your mom, the
mm,
relationship between you and your wife,
mm,
and the relationship between you and your wife in front of your mom, relationship
mm.
of your mom and you in front of your wife is totally
Yes.
different,
In the
right?
Indian scenario, various equations are there.
Yes, there is a lot
Yeah,
of variables.
yeah, yeah.
How you behave in certain contexts is different. How you
Mm,
behave when you are alone with them is different.
mm, mm.
It adds a lot of complexity.
True.
Okay,
Mm,
and for
mm,
men, we can switch between these scenarios. Let's say I'm with my wife and
mm,
my some other relative. I switch to it very easily, and I
mm,
don't feel anything.
mm.
But for women, it is very difficult to switch from being alone with husband and you know,
Right.
being with husband when all the family members are there, and
Mm, mm,
that is there, and um, sometimes it so happens that men want to talk to women.
mm,
And I genuinely want to talk to my wife and solve
mm,
issues. She may
mm,
be going through some problems, and I want to give a solution. But
mm,
uh, it so happens that women, or my wife is not ready to get advice from me at that point of time.
mm,
And sometimes it's okay. I understand, because she's also going through stuff. She's stressed and she's anxious.
mm,
There is a lot of work, and she has to take care of the kitchen and also children and all.
mm.
Sometimes it happens so that uh, it's a it's a bad experience for anybody. You try to
Correct.
advise someone, okay, you
Correct.
go with a good intention, but it is not taken in the right spirit,
Mm, mm,
and then you stop doing it. And I have
mm,
done it many times. I have done it many
mm,
times. I
mm,
have done it with my wife. I have been doing it with my father for a very very long time, because
mm,
sometimes you are misunderstood, or the person
mm,
doesn't respond in the same way, uh,
mm,
and it somehow you end up hurt.
mm,
Your emotions are hurt, or your ego is hurt, and then you stop doing it. I also faced this kind of these kind of scenarios where
mm,
uh, I'm dealing with a lot of stuff, and I just don't want to deal with another issue like
mm,
this, right?
mm, mm, mm,
Because whenever you extend your gesture, you make a gesture of um, striking a conversation about something, and the
mm,
person doesn't respond,
mm.
you at least men want to get rid of the problem quickly.
Right.
They
Mm,
don't want
mm,
to drag it for a very long time.
mm,
Okay.
mm,
And if I strike a conversation and if it's going to take a lot of my time and dealing
Hmm.
with this emotional roller coaster,
Hmm.
then I better avoid it and get to my work. I also do
Okay.
this a lot of times, and
Hmm.
I've done it a lot of times earlier also. But then
Hmm.
I've learned that some things are very important and you have to deal with those and you have to talk about it. And eventually I end
Hmm.
up talking about it with
Hmm.
my wife. And I tend to avoid
Hmm.
talking about issues when the situation is very charged. Either I am
Hmm.
emotionally charged or my wife is emotionally charged. And
Hmm.
it's better to avoid any
Hmm. Okay.
um, conversation,
Hmm.
or let's say
Conversation.
confrontation, when
Hmm.
either one of is charged or both of us are charged, and then it
Hmm.
you can avoid lot of issues by doing this.
Hmm. But what if I tell you, the moms I have spoken, or even my own experience, you want to talk it out? I mean, I am feeling you are an exception. There may be a certain percentage of husbands who want to talk and solve it. But mostly my moms tell me whenever I want to solve the issue, it leads to a quarrel. They don't want to quarrel, but they want a discussion, but somehow one thing leads to the other, or the other person is, like you said, I become silent, better to avoid when she is emotional. And she feels let down. She wants to talk it out and sort it out at that time itself. Maybe she's crying, maybe she's shouting, but she wants to talk. But you think she's coming to attack me, she's coming to fight me. This is my perspective. She's wanting to talk it out. She's wanting him to listen. She's wanting him to pacify. Okay, I heard you. I know what you're going through, or tell me what is happening. I'm ready to listen. So that kind of active listening she is not getting. So I think majority, from my experience, okay, I've met a few thousands of moms till now. From the feedback I've got, women really, moms really want to discuss, want to talk it out, but the response is not coming. Like you just now you said, okay, initially I tried, then I thought, let me be silent. You withdraw into your shell. Okay, I'm not accusing any man, I'm just looking at the relationship from the outside, how it happens. This woman goes with a lot of frustration. She wants to share with her husband, she wants to tell something about some incident, but this person totally shut down. अरे इसका तो लगा रहता है. She's always like that, not ready to listen. So then she feels even more frustrated. That becomes an argument, and this is never resolved. For years together, same. Your mom does this to me, your dad told this to me, or your relatives are like this. This is often repeating topic, but without any solution. Whenever she goes, there is no resolution. So we understand something can be sorted out, but don't make it into a quarrel. That's the only advice I can give to both the parties,
Yeah.
women and men. Sit down calmly, talk it out. Okay, what is the issue here? Okay, that person may be whatever he or she is, or some situation may be troubling you. But what can be done to make it better for you? How can I help? Okay, tell me, my dad said something to you, my mom did something to you. How am I supposed to help you? And about this Sas Bahu relationship, or even Sasur Bahu, whatever it is, it's a very tricky relationship in our Indian context. So I want the men to be supportive of their wives, mainly because ghar ka shanti, that is very important to maintain the peace at home. At the same time, older generation are very rigid. They have their own ways, their own perceptions. So what my son said before his marriage only, he had told me, Mummy, if you and my wife, whoever comes, my would-be wife, if you both have an argument, I'll not enter. You both should sort it out. Very mature guy, my son. I'm proud of him the way I've brought him up. Because he told me, you both have to sort it out. I will not, neither I'll support my wife nor you. So thankfully, my relationship with my daughter-in-law has been very good. We are like friends, and nothing like that has come up. So, but if it comes up, I feel if the man supports either of them, that becomes a power struggle. So I think man has to be very diplomatic. I understand it's a very, very tricky position for the man. Wife directly asked him, are you supporting me or will you support your mother? What will he answer, poor guy? Just leave it between themselves, they'll sort it out.
Yeah, this
And
is
one second, because I may forget. You mentioned about the emotional side of the woman. I totally agree with you. And nowadays, ladies, they are telling will be going through this, before periods, every monthly periods time, their emotions will be affected a lot. The moods will be very much ups and downs will be happening. They are not in control of their emotions. and they'll be having a lot of physical discomfort. So this 1 week period is very, very troublesome for her. And many women are openly telling their husbands, so this is what I'm going through, please cooperate. Maybe unknowingly I trigger you. So from your side, you support me. If possible, understand the woman's condition. It's not in her control. You think she's doing it knowingly, but sometimes she gets unnecessarily over angry. For a small incident, she becomes too angry or she gets irritated. She starts shouting. She may not feel like cooking. She may feel like resting mood. So please understand during this sensitive time, if possible, give her whatever cooperation you can give. Even during menopause, hot flushes happen, excess bleeding happens. Suddenly she'll feel drained. Within half an hour, her entire physiology will change, emotional state will change. So please support her understanding the feminine issues is my request.
Of course, this is something a lot of men are not aware, or maybe this is a topic which is not talked about a lot, right? In the Indian context, at least, this is a topic which is hidden from men, right?
Right, right, right.
And one more thing I would like to point out from your answer itself, Veena.
Mm.
See, the question is, uh, see, men want to solve the problems, right?
Mm.
From men's
Mm.
point of view, men are problem solvers.
Yes,
They want to get rid
correct,
of the problem, right?
correct, correct,
But women, uh, men want a logical solution to a problem.
correct.
Women want emotional solution. Women
Mm.
want that men understand their situation, their position.
Correct, true.
Okay.
Mm.
And it happens only when the woman doesn't come reacting emotionally. Like you said,
Mm.
whenever I want to, when your mom saying that whenever I want to resolve a problem, it ends
Mm.
up in a quarrel. Okay.
Mm.
And
Mm.
usually I feel this happens because nowadays at least there is more awareness. We have
Mm.
more exposure to information
Mm.
like this. There is more
Mm.
coaching kind of scenario available
Mm.
nowadays. But
Mm.
usually what happens is uh, the emotions on the women's side keep on building, 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 and then it will come out because she cannot handle it anymore, right?
Right.
Rather than, I would say, you also said the same thing. I want to put it in context that
Mm.
you should sit down and relax and talk about it, talk about the
Mm.
issues, and
Mm.
this is what both the sides should understand. They should have
Right.
some agreement that okay,
Mm.
whenever there is an issue, we'll sit and talk rather than
Mm.
reacting to it. It's better to respond, right?
Mm.
And I also said I keep avoiding few things, few issues.
Mm. Mm.
Because uh,
Mm.
in that heat of the things, I'm doing
Mm.
something, my job will get stuck, my work will get stuck,
Mm.
and I don't want to get into argument and that
Mm.
kind of scenario. That is why I avoid smaller things which are not so important, which
Mm.
will resolve them by which will get resolved by themselves. I don't
Correct.
uh, think much about it, and she can
Mm.
handle it herself. But
Mm.
there are issues when I have to
Mm.
interfere, and I
Mm.
talk about it.
Mm.
Somehow we have learned, we at least uh, from my point of view, my relationship with my wife has improved a lot ever
Mm.
since we started communicating better,
Correct.
right?
Communication is the key. I totally
Communication
agree.
is the most important thing, and
Totally
you should
agree.
have a system for that. And
Correct. Very
lot of
correct.
times, because emotions, see, emotions are something which you cannot control sometimes, and
Mm.
on a day-to-day basis, you're going through stuff, and suddenly you say something, and that leads to argument.
Mm.
And
Mm.
if you're reactive towards, your approach is reactive to solve a problem, or
Mm.
if your approach is reactive to bring forth an issue or something
Mm.
to discuss, then it will definitely result in quarrel, because egos will be hurt. When you are
Mm.
emotionally charged, you
Mm.
cannot control your words, or
Mm.
you want to say something, it will land in a different way. The tone is
Correct.
different, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
I think this is the main issue when it comes to these husband wife quarrels and
Mm.
arguments, which will
Right.
and whenever you're argument you see when you're arguing, a lot of times what happens is you will there is lot of resentment when you don't solve lot of issues, like when it comes
Mm.
to involvement of family members, you know
Mm. Mm. Mm.
um,
Mm.
mother-in-law, father-in-law, relatives, and then you start.
mm.
attacking your family members or
Mm.
things like this. One things
Correct.
will lead
One
to
thing leads
other,
to
and
other. Correct.
yeah, that
Mm.
will spoil the things. And it is always
Mm.
best to
Mm.
start a conversation, or you know start
Mm.
talking about an issue when you're emotionally normal, when you're not emotionally charged. Okay,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that will help each party to put forth their
Resolve it. Yeah.
point of view, and
Mm.
it's the best way to resolve any issue.
Right.
This is what I feel.
Because you mentioned family, I would like to add moms, women expect her parents also to be respected from the other side. If
Yeah.
not her in-laws, at least husband, it's a
Yes.
basic respect for her parents. It's a very emotional issue. When
Yes.
you disgrace my parents, I will not tolerate it. They may not be
Yes.
here, but don't talk ill about them. It really hurts
Hmm.
for a woman. So ultimately, it's not about one-upmanship, one womanship, nothing like that. It is like I
Hmm.
said again, I always visualize like two cards of a card. And
Yeah.
you mentioned family problems. It may be even about parenting. One person wants to bring up the kids in a different way, then
Yeah.
father or mother has a opposite opinion. Then what will the kids do? They'll either get confused or they'll start manipulating you. So
Hmm.
discuss these things in private. Others, you mentioned a very important thing, which is create the time for communication. This
Yeah.
is again very, very, very important. So when everyone are around, you can't talk, or even if quarrel happens, you don't want them to be a witness. You don't want kids to be around. So one weekend, if possible, take some time off, or after the kids are asleep, late night, maybe you can sit and talk to each other without raised voices. This is a problem. See the problem as outside of you. It is not just the mom's problem or dad's problem, whether it is with in-laws or kids or financial situation, whatever it is. So just see yourself, both of you together, working on this problem. See the problem as outside of yourself. And just think both of you together, how can you solve this problem? So this is the way you should approach any situation, I feel so.
Yes, definitely. Um, One more thing,
Mm,
when it comes to let's say, the parents of the husband or the parents of the wife,
mm,
it is a very, very, tricky situation, or let's say, it is a very sensitive issue, because
mm, mm.
when you're grown up, you've been brought up by these people, right?
Don't scare unmarried men, okay, who are listening to this.
Yeah. No, no, no. I'm not scaring. I think this point is very, very valuable.
Very valid. If
This
you
is a
know
valuable
the
lesson.
approach, what
Yeah.
others is sharing, if you understand, even unmarried men who are listening to this, you can be prepared for it. You can actually discuss properly with all the parties involved and make it very smooth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I think this is a very valuable lesson which I learned,
Uh,
after, some years of getting married.
yeah.
See, the problem here is husband and wife, they spend,
Mm,
a lot of time with each other. They will try to understand each other, and they will strike some kind of
mm,
um, understanding, or they'll find harmony with each other. Okay.
yes. Mm,
But problem arises when, let's say, wife speaks something about your parents.
mm.
It is almost like uh, the person is directly attacking your
Okay.
identity, because your parents are your
Yes.
identity. You have
Yes.
been brought up by your parents, and whoever you are is
Okay.
because
Okay.
of your parents. You are carrying their traits, their
Correct.
values, and everything, the way of
Mm,
doing things. Okay.
mm,
The
mm,
way you maintain your house, or
mm.
everything is, you learned from your parents.
So you came
Okay.
to emotion of the man.
Yeah. And it's the
Okay.
same on the other side also. It's
Ah,
the
yes.
same on the other
True,
side also.
true, true,
Okay.
true. Yeah.
So it's a very, very sensitive issue. Whenever you
Correct.
speak ill about your, the spouse's parent,
Mm,
it is a very, very sensitive issue. You're
correct.
directly attacking your husband or wife.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm,
That is
mm,
what happens.
mm,
And of course, there is also this element of acceptance.
mm,
Okay.
mm,
And I think here,
mm,
uh, the woman
mm,
is on the, let's say, um, she's on the weaker side, because she has left her family and come to your family.
mm,
Okay. She has
mm,
become part of your
mm.
family now.
Right.
And a lot of
Mm,
times, what happens is, like you also mentioned, that older generation is very rigid. And
correct.
they start to enforce their values or their way of doing
Even
things.
family to family customs may be
Yeah,
different.
customs
Everything
may
may
be
be
different.
different. It's
Yeah,
more difficult for the bahu,
yeah.
the daughter-in-law.
Yes, definitely difficult for the
Huh.
woman because she has left everything and she has
Yes,
come to your home, right?
yes.
And I think it is very difficult to convey this to the older generation, but
Mm,
the
mm,
husband should understand that
mm,
the older generation is rigid
mm.
and a lot of things they'll not accept. They'll accept,
Yes.
you have to accept the person way they are, and then you can anyways groom them instead of
Mm.
insulting them. There are
No,
certain
no
ways of
need to
doing things.
insult anyone.
No, no,
Mm,
the older generation, they tend to insult the other person. That happens a
mm,
lot. Uh,
uh,
Insult because you're grown up a certain way, you've been doing something a certain
mm,
way, and when
mm,
you speak ill about that, you may not
mm,
be personally attacking, but if you speak ill about what you
mm,
do or the way you do,
mm,
that is like
mm,
directly hurting the person. Okay,
mm.
and it's the same other way around also.
Other way
Okay,
on. Mm,
and
mm,
then once you understand that
mm, mm,
this relationship is it's a partnership, like husband and
mm,
wife is a partnership, and you have to
mm.
deal with these issues and have understanding that okay, if a
Correct.
woman speaks about the man's parents, then mine is definitely going to get hurt and he'll become um, uh, defensive about it, right?
Defensive. Mm. So what is
Okay,
the solution?
there is no solution, it's only understanding, right? And
I consider this as a subunit within the unit.
okay,
It is
let
one
me
joint
finish.
family.
Let
Yes,
me
yes.
finish
Continue,
what I was
continue.
about
Yeah,
to
yeah.
share. See,
Mm,
the man becomes defensive when women, say
mm,
something about the way do we do things in our home,
mm,
right?
mm.
Sometimes it happens, right? Women says, in your home you do
Yes,
like this,
yes.
you're not clean like in my home and all. That
Mm,
that creates a lot of this tension. And
mm,
uh, see, whatever the way you are living, your
mm,
practices, it has
mm,
been like that. I mean, that is
mm,
part of your identity. Your parents
mm.
are a part of your identity, and
Right.
both the parties have to deal with this.
Both the parties here. Mm,
Okay, they have to deal with this more
mm,
matured way. Instead
mm,
of putting it as an attack, you can say this is
mm.
something which I don't like, or this is something I feel
Yeah.
so and so about this, and then both parties have to take it in a right sense rather than feeling it
Yeah.
is an attack.
What's the best solution I think they can find out in spite of all this? Mm.
The solution is that you have to accept the way they are, the way they have been brought up, and it is
Mm.
true from both sides. And then it,
From both sides. Okay, but
yeah,
the lady is staying here. I would like to add to what you said only. That lady has migrated. She has
yeah,
uprooted and she is trying to find her roots here.
yeah,
And I'll tell you a simple situation where grandparents are watching endless TV serials.
mm.
The kids are not studying. So they go to the grandparents' room and sit there. They are pampered. Then this
Yes,
mother gets very angry. My kids are not studying and they're getting all kind of junk food in the grandparents' room. The moment husband comes, he complains. See, your mother,
yes,
father, they are dragging the kids. It's a simple situation.
yes, yes, yes,
He says, my kids are getting spoiled. Why don't you go and tell your mom and dad? Then this fellow says, the man says, no, no, I can't go and talk to my parent. They'll be offended. So simple
yes,
situation. So
yes,
here I
yes.
advise the mom, take control. You
Mm.
keep control on your kids. Take at
Yeah.
least husband should say you do whatever you want. He should not say let my parents do what they want. Don't even stop kids going and
Mm.
then mother will come and complain. She is not letting your kids play with us. Then he can say we can, you play or like I think my son is very mature in this case. He said sort it out between yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
I think both the women need to find women or in if other person is the gentleman also from the in-law side, they have to sort it out themselves. If husband has a bias, here that becomes a problem. I feel so. This is my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, see, it's everybody has to go through their own transformation, and
Right,
whenever there is a problem, we have to approach it
right.
from the point of view. See, this solved a lot of problems in my relationship. Okay,
Hmm.
I approached it with an with the mindset that I have to improve, right?
Hmm.
I have
Hmm.
to solve whatever issues I have with myself. I have to become a better person. I have to transform and
Hmm.
evolve, right?
Hmm.
Only then I could solve a lot of issues. with my
mm,
wife. Okay. And
correct,
then
correct.
one person, if one person is transformed, there is
Mm,
no way that the other person will not transform. They will definitely
yes.
transform. It is
Mm,
instead of forcing them to get a kind of response from what
mm,
instead of forcing them to get a certain response, it's
mm,
the way you treat them, or it's the way you behave, or it's the way you respond, you'll get it in
correct,
kind. That is what
correct,
happened in
correct,
my
correct,
relationship.
correct,
And
correct. Mm, mm.
yeah, I mean, nowadays there is a lot of coaching available for these stuff. There is a
To
lot of
just update
relationship
you,
coaching.
exactly this is what I teach moms here because this is a men's forum. I'm talking about menopause, have understanding, cooperate with her.
Mm,
With my moms, I speak a different language in the sense, okay, what will you do? The situation is like this. Develop lot of patience and understand what your kids are doing. Tell them the do's instead of the don'ts. I coach moms in a different way from her perspective. When she complains about her husband or in-laws, I tell her they are not here for coaching. You have come here to
yeah,
learn something, to improve yourself. Like others just now mentioned, that I improve myself, then everything else changes. Exactly, this is what I teach moms. Improve upon yourself. Find your, if everybody else is not loving you, start loving yourself. Start valuing yourself. Do something. Maybe you want to work from home when kids are still small, or you want to go out and find some employment, or you want to reignite your passion. So don't feel like a, don't pity yourself. Stop that. Instead, find your own strength, even without expecting anything. Your husband is too busy. Let him be. Find yourself. If your in-laws are, troubling you, you cooperate how much ever you can. Otherwise, you be distant. Don't connect emotionally. Spoil your mood. Quarrel with husband. No need. Handle it.
yeah.
Handle it like a mature adult.
Okay, two things, Veena. One thing is, as you were speaking, I could point out here is the men, what men can take as a takeaway is one thing is you were saying about self-love. You have to start loving yourself. Okay,
Yes,
and this has
yes.
been, instrumental in my own transformation and
Very
instrumental in
important.
my own relationship. Okay,
Yes,
I later on
yes.
realized that I
Mm.
did not have that self-love because
Mm.
I was gauging myself with the metric provided by the society,
Right.
metrics provided by my parents,
True. Mm.
right?
Mm.
You should have your own metrics. Like self-love is another way I would like to see when you may be hating yourself unknowingly,
Mm. Mm.
right? You may be hating
Mm.
yourself because
Mm.
I'll take a very simple example. You are not a good student, you are not getting good marks.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
that is the metric set by your parents and the schooling system and the society. If you're
Mm.
not getting good marks, you may end up hating yourself,
Mm.
right? You may end
Mm.
up not loving yourself. At least if you're not hating yourself, you may end up not loving yourself because you have,
Yes, thinking I'm not good enough. I'm
yeah,
not enough.
not
I'm
good
not good
enough.
enough.
That is
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
And it
Mm.
can be solved only by transformation and self-improvement.
Very
Okay.
true. Very true.
Yes. And how you treat yourself, whether you love yourself, whether you respect yourself, that is what you get it back,
Mm.
right? That is how you act, that is how you behave, and that is how people respond to you. If you
Mm.
respect yourself, you'll behave in a certain way that it uh, gives you that gets you that response from the other people. People will
Exactly.
respond back with respect if you respect yourself
Mm.
and
Mm.
behave, for the lack of better term, respectfully, right?
Mm.
Okay, and another thing about self love is how uh, when I coach men, or people of my men of my community, I've talked about it multiple times. Self love is not being okay with who you are, or it's not like fluffy thing like love yourself regardless of who you are. It is,
Mm.
self love has to be unconditional self love. It
Correct.
is something somewhat similar to how you love your children.
True.
There may be
True.
a lot of flaws in your children, there will be a lot of things your children do
Yes.
which you don't like, but you will
Yes.
always think of taking action, or
You have to be compassionate
guiding
to
your
yourself.
children guiding your
Yes.
children in such a way that it's good for them.
Correct.
If you don't love yourself like you love your children, you will not
Mm.
expect things which are good for you. Like, for
Correct.
example, fitness. Okay,
mm,
taking care of your body, taking care of your health, and how you
mm,
look, losing some
mm,
extra weight, and being fit
mm,
and muscular and good looking is
mm.
what you expect your children to be, right? I
Very
want my
true.
boys to
Mm,
be, strong and muscular and fit
mm,
rather
mm,
than, fat.
mm,
I'm okay if people get triggered rather than
mm,
being fat and useless and
mm,
lazy,
mm,
right? I
mm,
would like my children to be like that, my boys to be like that.
mm,
Why
mm,
don't you want yourself to be like that first?
mm.
Only then you
Valid
can
point.
expect that from your children,
Exactly.
right?
So that
So
you don't get triggered, so that you develop
yes,
as a person. You see
yeah,
different perspectives. Maybe your
yes,
wife is saying something, maybe your mother is saying something. You are able to see their
yes,
perspectives. Then you can bring them to a mid path. That's
yeah,
awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. Mm.
One more thing, the word you use, trigger, is a lot of men get triggered. Okay, when
Mm.
a woman says something, it hurts
Mm.
their ego,
Mm.
right? And if you're on the path of self-improvement,
Mm.
okay, then no one
Mm.
can trigger you, because
Mm.
if you're in this path of self-improvement,
Mm.
you already know there are some flaws in you. You already
Yes.
know you have to improve. You already know
Yes.
that you are not perfect.
Mm.
Okay. And why people get triggered is because someone says something, it may be true,
It may be
regardless.
true, but when someone says, they get triggered. You
Someone
mentioned a
says
very
they
good
get
point.
triggered, or the way they say may trigger them.
uh,
But
uh,
regardless of how the other person says it, if you already know that it is true and you already accepted it, it is true, and you already trying to improve upon it, then you don't get
you'll
triggered.
not get triggered. Very, very important point. Exactly about this, I'm doing a workshop. It's called Shadow Work Intensive, because I am a healer. I do healing also.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
when, for example, I'm doing it for moms, to any husband here, you can send your wives to our shadow work intensive healing. Now, if you say as a husband, oh, you're always angry, you're short tempered, maybe you tell your wife, she doesn't accept, she becomes defensive. In a relationship, we are always defensive. No, you are the one who makes me angry, or your mom makes me angry, or she may blame someone. But when she realizes, okay, this flaw is in me, I can correct it. Like just now, the sentences you apply to men,
Yeah.
exactly the same thing, but this does not usually happen very easily. We can see everyone else flaws, everyone else problems, but we
Yes.
can't see ourselves.
Yeah.
This shadow work is like a mirror to your dark side. It's called the dark side. And when you see that, and when you can treat yourself with compassion, that is the antidote. That is what we'll be doing in the workshop. It's a one-to-one workshop. Any men here, you can actually refer your wife to. I don't know how your wife will take it again. She may say, you're pointing out that problem is in me. Why don't you go to your coach and take sessions? It happens from both sides. Even my moms tell me, I want my husband to come and listen to you. I tell them, see, it doesn't happen that easily, because that person thinks there's no problem with me. So you are the one here. I'll teach you how to be patient, how to deal with it, how to deal with the triggers which they trigger you, how not to get triggered by what you feel you triggers you, and find a peaceful path so that family can be happy and peaceful.
Definitely. Veena, since that you talked about your workshop,
Yeah.
um, let us know how people can reach you. What is the best way to reach you or become part of this workshop?
Sure. I'll share my WhatsApp number and email. Email is connect@veenabk.com.
Okay.
connect@veenabk.com. So they can reach out either on email or WhatsApp.
Yes.
And this is periodically I'll be doing. Now seats are full for March end. I'll be
Hmm.
starting. Maybe
Hmm.
next session they can join, or I have a free masterclass for moms. They can
Hmm.
just ask their wives to connect with me, their wives, sisters, mothers. Maybe young
Hmm.
kids are listening, even up to 50, 55. I do coaching for moms. There are already moms in our community over 50 also. So if
Hmm.
your mom is interested in self development, if your wife is looking for self growth, if your
Hmm.
sister, sister in law, any ladies in your house,
Hmm.
moms, essentially, I cater to moms because mom is like a pillar of the family.
Hmm.
Everyone depends on her. See,
Hmm.
if a man falls sick, there's a lady to take care. If a woman falls sick, then entire family routine gets disturbed. So that is the importance of the woman. And we can very well see the physical illness. At least physically, if she's feeling weak, she has fever, She has some injury, you can notice it. But emotional wounds, emotional problems, sometimes she doesn't express. That is the problem with my woman. Others also mentioned like they bottle it up inside and suddenly they explode. Suddenly it comes, this man is wondering what happened to her because he doesn't have a hint. He doesn't even know that this is there in her mind. Suddenly she explodes and she starts to bring it all out. So she doesn't know how to handle her emotions because it is not visible. So kindly direct, guide your moms to me. I'll take good care of them. That much I assure. And I am not a typical feminist who says all men are wrong. Attack them, go and attack them. I'll strengthen you. I'm telling my moms, have patience, deal with it so that one fine day you both will reach a good communication and you'll have to show a better picture to your kids. And ultimately, kids grow in such a family. It's a secure, happy family. Their future will be ensured. I literally see the smiling family. When mom smiles, when she is patient, and she can handle her own tensions, and she can become a guide to her family. I visualize that family which is very happy ultimately.
Like, I cannot imagine my life without my wife. It's very
Um,
difficult. It gets very difficult when my wife is not around. She went to her parents' place and all. And
exactly.
like you said, um, initially, when we started this call, there is no family without women, right? And men cannot be happy without having women in their life, and women cannot be happy without having men in life. So the modern feminist idea is very wrong. At least I don't know, in India it is not picking up so much, but there is, I can feel those vibes of, the Western feminism, flowing towards
We are
our
not
culture also.
rebels. We want to make it work.
Yes,
That's it. We don't
yes,
want to be rebels. नहीं तो वो
yeah,
easy path हो जाता. Quit everything.
yeah,
Don't want children. Don't want husband. Go away.
yeah,
We want to make it work now. That is why we are
yeah,
trying from my side. What can I do so that my husband understands me, so that my husband communicates with me,
yes,
so that I can sort out the issues, whether it is financial, whether it is relationship. Let me understand and sort out. That is what my moms
yes,
are doing with my guidance.
yes. Truly, valuable, and that is the right approach as per me also. Like
Yes,
there is
also
no,
our foundation is very spiritual. We are
yes,
into meditations, visualization because she has to change her mindset from inside.
yeah,
All external work she has done, she has tried adjusting with her mother-in-law. She has tried to quarrel less with her husband. It's not happening. Why? So from
mm,
inside that has to come that, I can handle my own emotions. I can actually make it work. I can be happy
mm,
with myself with less
mm,
expectation from others. When this
mm,
change starts to happen, husband starts wondering what happened to my wife. Then he starts to actually trying to come and talk to her. She's expecting
mm,
all the time. When she stops expecting, he becomes like a friend to her. I have seen many, many testimonials of my moms. Yes, when I change my thoughts,
yes,
suddenly I even manifested money, even relationship is getting better, children are listening to me, my stress has gone down, my health has improved. So many feedback I have got. So that is how I believe in the work I do. It's very, very spiritual. Coming from my own experience, I feel years ago I needed such a mentor. Where was this person? I had nobody. I literally struggled a lot. Others had to coach himself. I had to coach myself.
yeah,
Finally, we are in a position because of our own struggles. We know you need not walk that difficult long path. We'll make it very step by step guided process for you, and we'll take you from this end to that end in a short time. That is my promise for moms and others' promise for strong men.
yeah. True enough. See, you said I have coached myself. You have coached yourself, but I would never ask people to coach themselves because it's
Exactly.
a lot of pain, and
Exactly.
it's a
Totally
lot of
agree.
pain. You have to go through some kind of setback to get into that mode.
This is destiny again,
Self,
Adarsh. If we connect with someone, it is destiny which connects. Maybe
yes,
I was searching, God did not have anyone at that time, but now I am very proud to say I'm
yes,
working with my mentors. Always self transformation is a
mm,
path which is never ending. We
yes,
may be
yes,
on different stages in the journey. So,
mm,
with guidance of my mentors, I improve myself, I help my moms. It's an
mm.
ongoing journey.
Yes, Veena. You said uh, you said destiny, Veena. So in
Yes.
my case, I had to coach myself initially, but I'm very grateful. for this
Yes.
beautiful thing called internet, because there were
Yes.
lot of other men who were putting
Yes.
out information like this. And
Yes.
like podcasts like this, I used to listen to podcasts like this which were focused on men, podcasts focused on fitness,
Very
podcasts
true.
focused on business and personal improvement, stuff like this. And this
Correct.
has been instrumental in my own transformation. But I was
That is
just,
why this podcast is happening.
yes,
Others
that is why this
wants
podcast is
to
happening.
give what he has taken. He wants to pass
That
it
is
on.
why
You know,
I'm
he
doing
wants
this.
to
Like,
help others.
that is why I'm
Yes.
doing this.
In
And
fact, me and others connected through a common mentor. See
yes,
the wonder of internet. Siddharth
yes,
Rajkikar is our mentor.
yes, true. And yeah, that is what is destiny. I mean, very recently I started investing in,
Hmm.
coaching and
Yeah.
training and mentorships and all. Initially, I
Yeah.
did not invest, and I would say anybody who is going through difficult times, who want to improve themselves, the
Yes.
first thing they have to do is find a coach and get
Whomever you
coached.
resonate with. If you feel
Yes, whomever,
connected, go to that
whomever,
person.
yeah,
Anybody.
whomever you resonate
Yes.
with, you have to
Yes.
find a coach and start getting
Very important.
some
Yes.
quick results. Otherwise, you can do
Exactly.
it. There is a lot of information on everything I learned
Ah,
came from internet, and of course, there were mentors whom I paid and got information
yes.
and got the
Yes.
transformation and stuff like that. But I will still recommend anybody who is starting off with anything, maybe fitness or personal
Yes.
improvement,
Yes.
or let's say moms who want to have some inner
Exactly.
healing. You have to get a coach and start doing it for the, that will save a lot of course you're investing some
Before
money in the
the
coach.
things get worse, before the
Yes,
relationship breaks, before you become a mental wreck, before you hurt your children so much that it becomes irreparable, please
yes,
seek help from anyone, any healer, coach, guide who can
yes,
guide you, with whom you resonate. That is my
yes,
request.
yes, definitely it
Because
will take.
in the early 2000s, I faced a lot of struggle. I told you, I was in a good state when I quit my bank. I didn't have any kind of problems at that time. But because of the past, I felt now at least let me spend my happy time with my family. That time, like you said, internet is a boon.
Yes.
Why we need to go in search in our city or somewhere physically? It's all available in your mobile. Just go and
Mm,
find someone and take help.
yeah,
Definitely. Good words you said, Adarsh.
yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Just to close off that conversation, you might invest some money, you might part away from some of your money now, but definitely it will save a lot of time and effort. And of course, somewhere it is connected to money. You will end up saving a lot of money if you improve
Yes.
yourself and start improving yourself immediately and start getting results.
Yes.
Okay, Veena, it has been a very, very engaging conversation. I really like this conversation, and
Same here.
we have to have a cliffhanger for this. I want to talk about the other important relationship, is that is
Ah,
about relationship of man with their mothers. Like, you
mm,
are coaching mothers, and I'm
yes.
pretty sure you're
Yes.
getting a lot of mothers who have grown up
Yes.
children who are already
Yes.
married. And as a
Yes.
man, I would say that
Yes.
is also a very, very important relationship. That is a
Yes.
responsibility, how you treat your mom
Mm,
even after getting married.
mm,
Mother's relationship is a very important one,
mm.
and I'll want to have you back again, where we can discuss about this particular relationship.
Yes.
And
It's a different angle. Definitely. Yeah.
yes, and I
Mm,
think
mm.
you have to work with all your relationship. Of course, we started off with
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
relationship of spouse, but relationship
Mm,
of mother is also very important.
mm.
And I want to definitely have you back, Veena, some other time. But
Thank you.
before
Thank you
we
so much.
Yes, Veena. Thank you too
Mm,
for coming. And before we close this episode, Veena, um, I want you to, you know, give a message from your side to men or women or whatever you feel like. What are the things,
mm.
um, what will be your message to people who are listening to this and who have come this far? They have
Yes.
really found value in this discussion,
Yeah.
and I want you to deliver something which is gold. Like, because people have spent about 1 year now, 1 hour now, this
Mm.
discussion, spent
Yes.
1 hour, and they should feel like they have struck gold.
Yes. So, as I was talking to you, self love is also important for men. So, mainly men are listening, women anyway, I'm guiding. So please practice, taking time out so that you don't get triggered or disturbed by whatever is happening around you. Second is develop lot of patience. Patience, it helps you everywhere, whether in office, whether in any interactions. So as a person, if you're patient, that moment that trigger happens, something happens, then lot of bitterness remains in both the parties. So please develop patience. And thirdly, I am always a advocate of meditation. I myself love meditation. I teach meditation. As a gift, I can share one short, you can meditate in 3 minutes. For people who say, I don't have time, I have a 3 minutes meditation for negative thinking, negative thoughts. What happens? We are all human, whether men or women, we face this problem. So please develop meditation as a daily habit. It will clarify your thoughts, and it will help you in making decisions. It will help you to grow as a person. Once you develop the hang of the meditation, you want to go deeper. Ultimately, it is not knowing others, it is knowing yourself, which will help you in your life. Like Adarsh has been through the journey, I would like to invite you all to start to do your self discovery journey. So when you discover yourself, then every other relationship will be fine. You live and attract money, promotion, whatever you want from your life, whether material or spiritual. Goal is yours, but path is spiritual, the ultimate. That is my advice and message. That's it, Adarsh. I'll share the meditation link with you.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely, Veena. I'll put the link in the description. I'll also put the link to Veena's, you
Sure.
know, email. I'll put it in the description. Veena's WhatsApp. Do you have a
Yes.
WhatsApp group or something, Veena, so
Oh,
that I
yeah,
can?
yeah. We have a
Yeah.
WhatsApp group. We have
Yes.
a free masterclass link. I'll share all the details with you, my
Yes.
social
I'll
media link.
put.
Please pass it on to women in your home or even your friends,
Yeah.
colleagues, anyone.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'll put all the links Veena is going to share with me in the description, so that
Thank
if
you.
someone is,
I'm feeling kind of satisfied that I can reach out to more moms. This is my mission, my passion,
yeah.
word, whatever you call it, but this is what I do. I stand for moms. So I want moms to be happy. So through others, if some men are listening here, even women, anyone listening, you can invite your sisters, you yourself can join my masterclass, get in touch with me. I'm feeling so glad this moment. Like I didn't think in this angle when we started this talk, but suddenly I'm feeling, wow, I'll reach more moms. Wow, that's so nice. I can help more families by reaching to moms. Thank you so much.
One thing I can say, Veena, is even I stand for moms. I love my mom, and she was a
Oh,
great woman, and I can really connect with this emotion of mom and being mom.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Veena, for coming on the show, and we I hope we'll have you back soon on the podcast. And
Yes.
again, a great advice you are living with. Uh, you know, uh, again, you're living again a great advice you're leaving us with.
Yes.
And I hope a lot of people felt value that you were here. And yeah,
I'll
thank you
leave
for
my WhatsApp number. Any
yeah,
men also having any questions, you can anytime ask me. I surely want to help because we are all two sides of the same. The goal is equal, the woman and the man. So let us lead together and reach that goal. So
yeah.
connect with me if you want any advice. With others also, you can ask. Just open up. What our coaches, mentees
Mm,
do, whether they are in our community or even others, they are very hesitant to open up with these problems. In the general outside world, we see all is well, all is well. We try to give that perception.
mm,
From
mm.
inside, we'll be suffering a lot. So
Yes, true.
anyone dealing with any internal struggles, please reach out to others, reach out to me, and anything we can do to help you, we'll definitely do it with this assurance. And thank you for listening. Thank you so much, Adarsh, for inviting me. It was a very wonderful conversation. You have seen Adarsh. Many of you already knew him. He's like my son only, I can say. The way I interact with him, it's just like sitting in two cozy chairs and chatting over a cup of coffee. I got that feel. Adarsh
Yeah.
is a great person to talk to, and very great initiative, Adarsh, you're doing to help others. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you
Thank you.
all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ina. I feel the same. I feel very comfortable talking to you, and uh, I love your vibe and energy. And
Thank
I
you.
wish you reach more and more moms, and Let's together make this world a better and happier
Better
place.
place. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
Adarsh.